Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, New Hampshire death penalty officially repealed after lawmakers override governor's veto. New Hampshire Senate vote comes week after House voted to override veto. The death penalty was repealed Thursday in New Hampshire after the state Senate override the governor's veto of a repeal bill. A week after the House overrode Governor Chris Sununu's veto by one vote, the Senate did the same, with senators reaching the 2/3 majority needed on a 16-8 vote. Cheers broke out in the Senate chambers as the vote came in, and longtime activists breathed a collective sigh of relief. The override was not a party line vote, as some Republicans voted in favor of ending capital punishment. Some Democrats argued that repeal of the death penalty would undercut law enforcement by receiving the sentence of New Hampshire's lone death row inmate Michael Addison, who was sentenced to death for killing Manchester police officer Michael Briggs. Police said the repeal of the death penalty will make more work more dangerous for officers on the street. Repealing the death penalty was a career-long goal for Rep. Rennie Cushing, Democrat of Hampton. Sununu expressed his disappointment in a statement released after the Senate's vote. I have consistently stood with law enforcement, families of crime victims, and advocates for justice in opposing a repeal of the death penalty because it is the right thing to do. I am incredibly disappointed that the Senate chose to override my veto, Sununu said. Former state U.S. General and U.S. Senator Kelly Ayotte also expressed her disappointment on Twitter after the vote. Ayotte prosecuted the case against Addison. Police killer Michael Addison is the happiest about their veto today, Ayotte said on Twitter. She went on to tell News 9 in a written statement that she expects Addison's sentence to be commuted to a life in prison. He will get a pass because he was already facing a life sentence for the armed robberies and drive-by shooting he committed leading up to the murder, so he gets no added punishment for killing Officer Briggs, Ayotte said. Senate Majority Leader Dan Phelps said Addison's final sentence may be decided by the courts, but he is being punished for killing a police officer. The New Hampshire Council of Churches in Diocese of Manchester applauded lawmakers. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Thursday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and up. S&P 500 closed in the green and up. Gold closed in the green and up. Oil closed in the red and down. US 10-year closed in the red and down. Euro/USD closed in the red and down. And VIX closed in the red and down. Stocks rise slightly, but trade and economy worries persist. Stocks rose on Thursday, regaining some of the losses from the previous session, but the market gains were kept in check as worries over the global economy and trade lingered. Roger Stone continues efforts to drop his charges and gets unrated Mueller report. Roger Stone, longtime advisor to President Donald Trump, has inched closer to getting a less redacted version of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report. And that did it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Bye.